Time to get the collars right, and let's dig into a little bit of a hard work for both teams in the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. The first test match is happening at Optus Stadium, and both teams are a little bit wary of the extra bounce and pace. So let's get right into it. The first topic of conversation is the lineup of both teams. Australia, pretty well settled. They were working out who was going to open the batting with Khawaja, and they went with McSweeney, the 25-year-old. Could have gone with Harris, Bancroft, experienced players, Renshaw, who have played a little bit of Test cricket, but I think it's right for the picking for a youngster to be in the top order because Smith, Labuschagne and Khawaja could be retiring over the next couple of years out at the same time. So you need that experience being built into a youngster out the top. And watch out for McSweeney. If he makes some runs, he could be a future captain for Australia. The rest of the batting lineup is pretty standard. You've got Labuschagne, Smith, Travis Head. He's had a bit of a break. Is he going to be in form? That's something that India can expose with their fast bowling. Mitchell Marsh, is he going to bowl some overs as well? There'll be pressure on him to cement his place, especially with Green being out for the whole series. So he's got to make sure he takes the most of this opportunity. And then you've got Carey, Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark and Lyon to finish it off. Now that is a very experienced Australian lineup on Australian conditions. So India are already on the back foot with that experience there. Now let's go through the Indian lineup because Rohit Sharma, the skipper, is not there. Gill's out with a finger injury, and there's a few concerns about which Indian batters are going to be okay to face the short pace bowling of Australia on this bouncy wicket. So the team that I've got for you is Rahul to open with Jaswell. You have to have Rahul in there because you need that experience because there's a lot of youth coming in this lower order. Padikkar will come in at number 3. Everyone is talking about Abhimanyu. I don't think Abhimanyu is okay out test level, especially in these conditions. You need a taller batsman and someone who can handle the bounce a little bit better than Abhimanyu. Then I've got Kohli, Pant, and I've got Jurul coming in instead of Sarfaraz Khan. The reason why I've got Jurul coming in is because I think he's got a better technique for this wicket here at Optus Stadium, and then they go to Brisbane next. I think Sarfaraz Khan is too low in the hands and is too aggressive, and he'll be found out by the Australian bowlers. That's why I've gone for Jurel at number 6, and then I've gone Jadeja and Ashwin. Why am I bowling? Got 2 spinners in the team here. The reason why I've got 2 spinners in the team is because both of these particular players can handle the bat, and Jadeja will be very good with the off spin in the first innings, and Ashwin, when the wicket breaks up, a little bit more, will have a little bit more venom at the latter stages of the test match as a wicket breaks up. People are saying that Washington Sundar probably should play in front of Ashwin. I don't think so. Yes, he had a great little couple of games over there against New Zealand. He got some big wickets and some runs as well, but I don't think his bowling suits these conditions here in Perth as well as Brisbane. And Ashwin has worked so hard in the overspin, getting that extra bounce as well. He's gone over to England, he's done the hard yards. You need that experience in the bowling department, and Ashwin can bowl a lot of overs with a lot of variety. That's why I'd go with him instead of Sundar. Now the bowling department is a little strange for you lot there listening, because you'll be thinking, right, I've gone for Akashdeep because he can bowl that good line and length like a Glenn McGrath. I think he can hold up an end. Boomer is obviously in there, but I'm going to go with Harshit Rana here in Perth. I want to give him an opportunity. He's got pace, he's got bounce, and I think with the pressure build up out the other end, I think he can do a really good job and expose the Australian batsman with that extra bounce and pace that he has got. There's thoughts of going with Krishna and Siraj. I'd like to go with both of those bowlers. They deserve their opportunity. But the other thing with Rana is that he can bat a bit as well. He's got 100 in first class cricket. A few youngsters here that are not used to these conditions over here, you probably might need that extra batting depth as well to hang in here, because Australia have got that extra experience. So that's why I'll go with Harshit Rana. Now I'd like you to get your views about that team that I've got there, and put your comments downstairs, because I like your difference of opinion, and keep those little bits of information coming through. Now I've already talked about Ashwin and Sundar. Is spin worth it on this Perth pitch? I think with the Indian bowling attack, having Jadeja and Ashwin there with 3 quicks, I think that's a perfect balance. Those 2 particular spinners can hold up an end, keep the pressure on, keep it nice and tight, while the quicks out the other end are able to rotate. Akashdeep will probably bowl more overs than Bumrah and Harshit Rana, or if Siraj and Krishna are in there. So you use the spinners, Akashdeep, to keep the pressure on, bowl the bulk of the overs, and have Bumrah and the other quick that's going to play, hopefully Harshit Rana, as impact bowlers. So for me, I would play 2 spinners, because they can handle the bat as well and give you that extra batting depth. As I said before, you're missing some players there, India. Now, the key for India here with the bowling, if they win the toss and bowl first, they've got to find the right length as quick as possible. The last time they were here in Perth, they bowled too short for too long. Can't afford to do that. You've got to get it up there. There's going to be some grass on the pitch. The pitch hasn't been prepared as well as the curator would like, because there's been some wet weather around. So it's going to be a little juicy as well. So you might think about going fuller earlier. If you're getting that movement and you're beating the outside edge on that fuller length, well, keep it as full as you possibly can. Make it uncomfortable for the batsman. We saw in the one day between Australia and Pakistan here, the fuller you were, even half volleys were beating the outside edge, because there was good lateral movement off the seam there. So that's something that India have to work out very quickly. Yes, there's going to be pace and bounce, but use the bouncer sparingly. The opening combos, we'll talk about those. Both teams are going to go in here with a little bit of inexperience. McSweeney in Australia, but Khwaja has got that experience. But over on the Indian camp, you've got Rahul, who's been out of touch, and you've got Jaswal, who's exploded on the international scene around in the subcontinent conditions. He's done all right in South Africa. I like his aggressive approach. The right arm bowler's coming over with the new ball going across him. I think he can get some quick runs through that point region. And if Australia don't get that length right as well, Jaswal can really pound the bowling through the backward point region. The outfield should be quick here. They have just come off an AFL footy season, so they keep the grass a little longer there. But I think the curators have got the outfield right, so that it's going to be quick outfield and you're going to get value for shots. Both teams have got good balance in that opening, batting department. Whoever gets them off to a good start will win the test match. So for me, if I'm looking at this Perth test match, I think India are going to be missing Rohit Sharma big time out the top of the order, but more importantly, Gill out number 3. When you've lost 2 batsmen in that top 4, it's very hard to turn things around. I think in their bowling department, I think Morne Morkel, who's the bowling coach there, can settle them down, especially the newer bowlers here in Australian conditions. He's so used to these conditions coming from South Africa, which are similar, and I think the bowlers won't let the team down. It will be the batting department that is the big concern for India, and that's where Australia will win this first test match. Your thoughts? Get them downstairs.